Coming up on OU Nightly, DEI is out at OU, but something else is taking its place. We're live with breaking news about this on-campus change. And new charges filed in the Super Bowl parade shooting. Plus, what the experts say you need to take to fight allergies. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Emily Faith.
And I'm Noah Mack. We begin tonight with breaking news about the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Office here at OU's campus. Governor Kevin Stitt's executive order issued late last year mandated university campuses to reevaluate their DEI office. Moments ago, OU President Joseph Harris sent an email campus-wide addressing the changes the university is making in regards to the office. OU Nightly's Kaylee Fan is live on campus with the breaking story. Kaylee?
That's right. The DEI office is expecting a name change following Governor Stitt's Executive Order 2023-31 to get rid of the department statewide. Harris says that the university will continue to assess the implications of this bill and that the university will remain a place of belonging for all. He adds that current staff will continue to support the community and that no one is losing their employment over this order. Academic courses, research, creative endeavors, and practices needed for accreditation will not change either. In a statement to OU Nightly, the university says they have been, quote, diligently working to assess the implications of this executive order while actively engaging with the campus community and key stakeholders. The statement also read that the university has a dedicated webpage to anything related to Governor Stitt's executive order, and they expect full compliance by May 31st. We will keep you updated as more gets announced. On Boyd Street, Kaylee Fan, OU Nightly.
Norman is still celebrating after the ribbon cutting of the new Young Family Athletics Center kicked off the facility's opening yesterday. OU Nightly's Kaylee Carnine is live from the new Norman Staple. Kaylee?
Trae Young, a Norman native and former Sooner basketball star, is soaring in the NBA. He's changing the game on the court, but now the Atlanta Hawk is changing the game right here in Norman.
It's very special. You don't always get this when you have kids that make it big. They don't always want to give back to their community. It was the most of importance. They contacted us.
The doors for the Young Family Athletic Center are finally open, with the public flooding in. The 122,000 square foot facility includes 8 NBA basketball courts, a 25,000 square foot sports performance center in partnership with Norman Regional, and so much more. The facility was made possible by a Norman tax as well as a $4 million donation from Trae Young. But this flashy facility helps fuel the future of Norman.
I hope you will all take a few minutes today to look around and let this soak in. Let today serve as a reminder that there is nothing the city of Norman cannot accomplish when we as a community put our hearts and minds to the challenge.
Not only does this serve the Norman community, but it also serves young athletes and their families in the Norman regional area. It allows them to stay closer to home instead of traveling to far off and expensive tournaments. Yeah, and who knows, we may see the next Trae Young practicing in here very soon. Reporting from the Young Family Athletic Center, Kaylee Carnine, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Kaylee. You can find the Young Family Athletic Center on the north side of Norman on Trae Young Drive.
Well, there's new information tonight about the people accused in the deadly shooting at the Kansas City Super Bowl parade. 2 adults have been charged with second-degree murder, armed criminal action, and unlawful use of a weapon. In the shooting, 1 person was killed and 22 others were injured. 2 juveniles were already charged last week in connection to the shooting.
Well, Alabama Supreme Court justices make a controversial ruling that could impact IVF treatments in the state. OU Nightly's Brooke Griggs has that and the rest of today's national headlines from the News Center.
The Alabama Supreme Court has ruled that frozen embryos will now be considered children under state law. This decision was issued after 3 families filed wrongful death lawsuits against a fertility clinic after their frozen embryos were accidentally destroyed. Some critics say that the ruling could block access to IVF treatments in the state. The U.S. has vetoed a United Nations draft resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. The U.S. ambassador said the resolution was irresponsible and says the U.S. is working on their own resolution, which includes a ceasefire on the condition that all hostages are released. Out of the 15 nations that voted, the U.S. was the only one to vote against the resolution. California is seeing record rainfall, putting the southern part of the state at risk of flooding. Over 35 million residents are under flood alerts. In Santa Barbara County, residents are under an evacuation warning, and the airport has been shut down by floods. Los Angeles officials are warning residents to watch out for mud and rock slides on roads. And the Biden administration says they will impose major sanctions on Russia in relation to the death of Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny. The sanctions will be announced Friday. Emily, Noah, back to you.
Thanks, Brooke. Elon Musk's startup company Neuralink is getting results after implanting a brain chip in its first human patient. Musk says the patient can control a computer mouse with their brain. The chip was implanted nearly a month ago. The FDA gave clearance for Neuralink to start clinical trials last May.
A total solar eclipse is set to cross North America on April 8th, and U.S. cities within the path of totality like Dallas, Indianapolis, and even Cleveland expect a boost during a busy time. Christy Hudson of Expedia says there are ways to get better rates for spring 2024.
Is the busiest and priciest time to fly during the spring season. You can get better rates by flying at the very beginning of March or the very end of April.
And with air travel booming, experts advise taking a look at your summer plans right now. Price out an itinerary with 2 one-way fares, maybe even on different airlines or to different nearby airports to see if it's cheaper than a round trip.
Well, speaking of summer, it kind of feels like summer outside today.
It does, I know. I loved my walk to class this morning. Super warm, no cold. Well, let's go ahead and check in with OU Nightly's meteorologist Sam Patterson, who's in the studio right now with a first look at the weather.
Feels like spring, feels like summer, an absolutely beautiful day here in Norman. You can see beautiful blue skies, a few clouds here and there, maybe a few people around campus, either getting out of class or just taking a walk around campus. And across the metro, feels pretty nice as well. Oklahoma City, 77 degrees. Norman, nearing that 80-degree mark. Guthrie, though, you're probably pretty chilly up there, so if you want to warm up, I suggest heading south across the state. Similar story there, about 80 degrees in Norman. Miami, our low spot at 69 degrees. Coming up, we're going to talk about allergies remaining high, how that fire danger is going to increase, and we're going to cool down a little bit later this week.
Thanks, Sam. Coming up, if you've been thinking about adopting a furry companion, we'll introduce you to a perfect pup in Pet of the Week.
Plus, it's National Engineering Week. Hear how one OU organization is celebrating up next.
My baby's back from the West Coast.
Here are those pictures that you asked for your school project? First day of school, cute as a button.
So long ago.
Oh, here's Grandma Florence after that flood wiped out the whole neighborhood.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe. And it's the best way to protect that legacy.
Those beans smell heavenly.
Give Mom a little credit.
You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year.
Oh,
Great idea.
At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with the link.
Okay.
Smart.
I'm coming to share with you guys.
Protect your legacy. Plan for natural disasters today. Visit ready.gov/plan.
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Today is National Love Your Pet Day, and Norman Animal Welfare has a pet in need of some love and in need of a home. OU Nightly's Abigail Franklin has this week's Pet of the Week.
Today's the perfect day to find some puppy love, and this sweet mix of all the right breeds told me that she's ready to meet her new owner. Meet Piper, a 3-month-old puppy looking for her new home.
She is a Spitfire. She is very, very intelligent. She, at only 3 months old, already knows sit, shake, and spin.
Fostered by not 1, not 2, but 3 employees, so Piper's in need of a final home.
She's got a lot of energy, and she has a real high desire to please her people. So she would be a really good buddy for an active person that likes to get out and walk or hike and just an adventure type person.
And just before I left Miss Piper today, she told me that she's ready to trade in that sweater weather for some spring barbecues with her new owners, of course. So head on over to Norman Animal Welfare to meet your new furry friend. Abigail Franklin, OU Nightly.
Piper is great with other dogs and even cats. She's looking for a chance, and she's waiting to meet you at Norman Animal Welfare. You can reach out to adopt with any of the options on your screen, and it's never too late to help a pet in need.
Well, it's National Engineering Week, and one OU club is in full force for the celebration. Oklahoma Engineers Club has a week planned of events, from a paint night to a blood drive to a masquerade ball. Monday night, they welcomed a keynote speaker and handed out free food and t-shirts. The week is meant to highlight achievements in the field and bring engineers together.
It's a good way to kind of just get everybody involved. So for people that, just go to class and just are on campus and do their homework and go home, it's really a good way that we kind of just try to get people involved and plugged in. We also really like to just support our engineers.
More information on what's in store for the rest of the week can be found on the OU Engage website.
Well, Noah, spring is in the air, and that means pollen is too.
We've got some tips to keep allergies away when OU Nightly returns.
And just how long are those allergies going to stick around? I'll have a look at that and more coming up.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container, because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
See, Smokey thinks I'm funny.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
It took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Water is our most precious resource, and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute. That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Is it time yet?
It's time.
Time for dinner.
Oh, terrific.
Pasta
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Well, an absolutely gorgeous day here in Norman. Whether you're taking Piper for a walk or your own pet at home, beautiful clear skies and warm temperatures are in the air. You can see a little bit of smoke behind me. We'll talk about fire danger coming up in just a little bit. Right now, Norman, though, 79 degrees, pushing 80 degrees already. And again, dew point and humidity pretty low. We will take a deeper look at that in just a little bit. A lot of people have been suffering from allergies, unfortunately. That is going to stick around for a while. Trees still at high level, molds at low. We'll also take a look about how long those are going to stick around in just a second. But thankfully, with some good news is we are going to stay pretty nice for the next couple of days. Tomorrow, high of 80 here in Norman, 77 Oklahoma City. The entire state, for the most part, up around that 80 degree mark. Can't complain too much for February. Now, like I said, we're going to have fire danger increasing over the next couple of days. You can see wind gusts Wednesday morning are going to start to shoot up already above 20 miles per hour out in the Panhandle, even 30. McAllister Thursday night could see nearly 40 miles per hour wind gusts. And then Thursday afternoon, those are going to make their way over central Oklahoma. So it's going to be really windy throughout the next couple of days. But not just that, it's also going to be really dry. You can see already Wednesday, humidity 20%, Elk City 9%, single digits out in Guymon as well. Now, we will get a little bit of relief Wednesday night. The humidity will set back over, but it's going to move right on out after that. And still, 30% is not enough to stop fires from happening, from spreading for that matter. You can see Thursday afternoon, those are going to wipe themselves out in the entire state of Oklahoma. It's going to be pretty dry for the most part. So this is also going to lead us to allergies continuing, but you can see fire danger risks the next 4 days. Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to go elevated. Friday, Saturday, we are going to go low. We could see those shoot up depending on how the models circulate out the next couple of days, but definitely need to keep an eye on those as we move forward. Now, like I said, unfortunately, allergies are not going to go away, but you are going to have a pretty nice Wednesday, starting about 50 degrees, quickly warming up near that 80 degree mark. We could hit the 80s mid-early afternoon, start to cool down after that, though. But really can't complain for February. High tomorrow, 80, 60. We're going to have a little bit of a cold front Thursday afternoon. Not horrible. About a 15-degree change, which seems like a lot, but when we're talking about 80 degrees, I mean 15 down to 65, even February, can't complain too much.
I know I will definitely be looking forward to the warmer weather throughout the week, but I don't know about you, but I have really struggled with allergies lately. Either of you been struggling with that?
Oh yeah, this weekend my voice was out of commission. It's still not fully like there, you know, I feel like I can't hit my falsetto anymore, so my singing career is over.
Yes.
Well, that's okay. Hopefully you'll get it back pretty soon. Well, speaking of allergies, cedar pollen season is in full swing across Oklahoma and Texas. Pollen levels have skyrocketed to the very high category over the past 2 weeks. Jonathan Motzinger with the Texas A&M Forest Service says the eastern red cedar is the culprit in the state. The Cleveland Clinic says so-called cedar fever can cause a runny nose, itchy and watery eyes, and sneezing.
Taking over-the-counter allergy medication. I have a couple of my sons are very allergic, have bad allergies, and we take allergy medicine every day during the winter just because of the cedar pollen.
Motzinger also says to avoid being outside during the morning to help. Well, coming up next, more changes have been announced for the college football playoffs.
OU Nightly's Kaylee Jo Hommel has more details on the updates coming up in sports.
And OU women's basketball has a lot to prove after snapping their win streak. I'll have how head coach Jenny Baranczyk plans to get back on track up next in sports.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink, or the feeling that says, Okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hello, I'm Kaylee Jo Hommel, and it's time for sports. There's 186 days until college football returns, with some big changes coming for the 2024 season. The College Football Playoff announced the Board of Managers unanimously approved a 5+7 model. This means the new 12-team field will include the 5 highest-ranked conference champions, along with the 7 highest-ranked teams. This differs from the original plan, which was a 6+6 model. As for one college sport in full swing, OU baseball has its first midweek matchup tonight. From Arlington to Dallas, the Sooners are on the road against Dallas Baptist. Oklahoma went 2-1 in their season opener, taking the last game versus Nebraska in walk-off fashion. First pitch is at 6:30 p.m. The Jordan-ranked OU women's basketball squad looks to jump back tonight with a conference clawdown versus Cincinnati. The Big 12 leaders busted their 9-game win streak with a 70-66 loss to West Virginia Saturday. Head coach Jenny Baranczyk believes the obstacle is exactly what her squad needs.
They're getting excited about being challenged. They're excited about growing. And that's one thing that falling on your face does, is you don't worry about it. You don't worry about it because you know you can get up, you know you can roll your sleeves up, you know you got to keep working.
And I promise you're not hearing a broken record. OU softball is unanimous at number 1 in the rankings. This strikes the 3rd week this season the Sooners earned the honor. And with the home opener slated for March 1st, the squad has revealed the grass is in at Love's Field. In between the Sooners and their new home, the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic this weekend. Swinging from bats to clubs, OU women's golf scratched in at 5th in the Spartan Suncoast Invitational. The Sooners shot 7 over par, with sophomore Gracie Mayo scoring 1 under par and placing 3rd. After dominating in the Metroplex Challenge, 2 OU women's gymnasts are dominating the conference. Sophomore Faith Torres was named Big 12 Gymnast of the Week, and freshman Kira Wells earned Event Specialist of the Week. This marks the 2nd honor of the season for both. And the gymnastics awards don't end there. Flipping to the men, senior Zach Nunez was named Mountain Pacific Sports Federation Gymnast of the Week. And sophomore Kelton Christensen secured Specialist of the Week. Emily, Noah.
Thanks, Kaylee. Coming up on OU Nightly, if you need a break from ordinary coffee shops, one in OKC might be perfect for you.
We'll tell you all about that right after the break.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Thanks for hearing me out, bro.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo? Donating to a pet's medical care can keep families together. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Is
It's time.
Pasta and chocolate dinner.
Oh, terrific.
Pasta dinner.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
I'm Allison Greenberg with an update from Edmond Public Schools. Today they say they're filing a petition with the state Supreme Court regarding rules adopted and enforced by the State Board of Education. Superintendent Angela Grunwald says this comes after OSDE ordered EPS to remove 2 books from their high school's libraries. I've reached out to OSDE for a statement. Noah, Emily.
Thanks, Allison. Well, if you need a new place to study, there's a cafe in Oklahoma City where you can get coffee, but you can also get cats. It's called Don't Stress Me Out, and it doubles as an adoption center.
They have a cat lounge that costs $15, and $1 from every reservation goes to a local nonprofit. They've gotten over 130 cats adopted and raised roughly $16,000. Man, I'm gonna have to go up to the city and go check that out. I don't think my roommates will mind if I bring home a cat. Hopefully not.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe kind of a warmer weather activity. Maybe I can go sunbathe in the windows, have a good book, chill with a kitty cat. I think that'd be great. Speaking of the weather, let's check in one last time with OU meteorologist Sam Patterson.
Should be plenty warm enough for you to go to the cafe, maybe and adopt a cat, or take your pet for a walk. 80 for our high tomorrow, cooling off a little bit into this weekend, but back near the 80s again as we start early next week.
Thanks, Sam, and thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Emily Faith.
And I'm Noah Mack. Be sure to watch OU Nightly weekdays at 4:30. Good night.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right? It's comfortable. So how's civilian life treating you? It's fine. When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because it felt like a failure. And then I realized, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay. Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
And then I was going to come home, and my husband and children and my